I kind of feel like I should join the Merchants Guild because I'm going to be like, with this character, we're focusing on getting artifacts and from the previous ages and selling them. So it seems like having contacts in that section would be a great way to help our character. It's one of those situations where like our character is bad at fighting, but if we have money, we can just throw money at the problem. So we do archaeology, we get stuff, we sell stuff. The trade district is for tradesmen, moneylenders, and impoverished nobles. If you're doing well, that's where you settle and consider yourself lucky. The arena district, the man gestures around him, is all about entertainment. We have the arena, of course, taverns, whorehouses, nothing fancy, mind you. If you want a real courtesan, you'll go to the trade district. If you aren't picky and you don't want to spend more than a few coins, you'll find plenty of local talent right here. The Imperial Guards barracks are here as well. They don't get involved in the local affairs, of course, but they do try to keep their house clean and the slums from growing any bigger than it is. Badger, good evening, good to see you. What's the last district? The Abyss, an old wound that still won't heal. The bastards hit us pretty hard during that big old war, so now we have a miles-long crater filled with fog and ruins where two districts used to be. Keep in mind that the fog is still as deadly as the day it appeared, so if you're thinking of going in, don't count on coming out. Wow, that's interesting. Sid, not a bad idea. It does look a little loud. 1 second. Hey, Snore, good evening. Let me know if that's a little bit better on the music. So, you know, something that's really interesting about, I mean, the writing and the story in this game is very cool. And it seems like they're telling me that there's some gash that's filled with maybe Cthulhu, like some kind of supernatural horror, the undead. I don't know what this abyss is. It doesn't sound good, so I'm a little bit scared. But we'll see. Hermie, good evening. No abyss. Remember, this character can't fight. Maybe if I have a team that I have hired and I have full armor on. Who rules the city? Lord Galius of House Aurelian, the best lord you could possibly wish for, bar none. He leaves us alone, keeps the levies reasonable-like, and doesn't get any bright ideas like Meru. What's not to like? Besides, he has too many of his own problems to worry about anything else. The Palace District is a nest of vipers. You see, when the Empire fell, most nobles fled to Madaron. Nobody wants to go to the two-bit towns like Terran or Kapur. Genezar? It was not for everyone, even before Mero went mad. So as I was saying, most nobles fled to Madaron, and by most, I mean several houses with their guards and retainers. Oh, it was a bloody... House Aurelian, one of the later rivals, managed to come out on top, which means that many families ended up at the bottom. Still living comfortably, mind you, but what's comfort for you or me is utter humiliation for the likes of them. Snore, thank you for asking, my friend. Great question. In all honesty, it doesn't matter for me either. For me, it's whichever is best for you. But I appreciate you asking. And let's see. Why do the guards avoid the slums? Surely they can restore order. Sure they can, agrees the man, but if they do that, where would all the dregs go? It's a harsh world, my friend. Some people don't have what it takes to make it. I'd rather they keep to one place than wander around aimlessly, bringing the quality of life down for the rest of us. It's a good arrangement, trust me. Yikes. I'm looking for some people. Do they have names? Domitius Ulpius. Domitius. It rings a bell, but for the life of me, I can't remember. I think I saw him around here a few times, so maybe he lives here. Then again, maybe he just comes for the entertainment. I'm looking for people. Do you know a good lore master? They say that Master Erebus is as good as they come, but he lives in the palace, so I doubt you'll get a chance to see him. If you're desperate, try Abukar the Mad. Sounds great. You can find him in his observatory in the Trade District. The Mad, he's not altogether there, but some people swear by him. Okay, I'm looking for some people. Let me ask something else. Where can I find some work? Try the guilds. They're always hiring, especially the boatmen. Business has been good for them lately. Alternatively, you can always go to the arena and try your luck there. So as we established before, my character isn't really the arena type character. I need to do a little bit more. Not even statecraft, just like selling, buying and selling loot that I have found from antiquity. And let's see, thanks for the info. All right, so that was well worth it. I got a lot of good information there. And let me see here. I can't tell if there's lightning or if the lighting in the game is just, like, scary. It seems odd. Alright, so there's the arena. I don't want to do that. And there's a door. Do I have a good map of this area? Okay, here I am. Here's the arena. Here's the fort. Here's the main gate. So this is the town with all of its districts. I'm going to need to explore. I think you could fast travel once you've been around. So let's just try to find, I suppose, the trade district. Oh, here we go. You hear the sounds of drums announcing the arrival of a caravan, and almost immediately crates, barrels, and sacks start flowing through the gates, followed by chained, dust-covered slaves and tired guards. Go and take a look. Jamnuska, good evening. Hermie, I'm down for that. You know, I actually thought about booting up MTG Arena just to see the insanity that is the Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering cards, but I don't know if... Sometimes when they do the, like, across the universe or across worlds or whatever they call those sets, they don't actually filter into the digital Magic space. Like, I don't know if the Fallout cards made it into MTG Arena, but you could definitely play with the Lord of the Rings cards and with the D&D cards. Oh man, that's too bad. Yeah, I really wanted to drop, you know, like Sephiroth on somebody, but oh well. So let's go take a look. Once inside the gates, the new arrivals are dealt with a surprising speed and efficiency. Slaves are taken to the auction block, paid for, cargo delivered to the consignees, guards paid and discharged to boost the local economy. All that's left are small-time traders hoping to sell their goods at a profit in the big city, and the vultures that prey on them, levy collectors who take all they can, and cutthroats who take everything, including their lives. One of the traders shakes his head and turns away from a levy collector to think it over. Oh, I think we actually read this last time. So, this is where I found out that my character can't handle this. I think I died doing this last time. So it's not my problem. It's not my problem, not because I don't care morally. It's because I can't solve that problem with this character right now. So there's the Legionnaire. Let's see. Where are the different districts? That's right, Jamnuska, I can't join the army. That poster kind of looks like, you know, one of the original, like, Elder Scrolls Arenas posters. Nice propaganda piece. A broken fountain. Let's get some relics from that. Let's search it thoroughly. There's no water to be had from this fountain, indeed. The frenzied shrieks coming from the arena make you think that blood is a more obtainable commodity in these parts. Good God. Nothing like some frenzied... Here we go. Shrieks. Here's the trade district. This is where we actually want to go. So I will. Take me to the trade district. Show me what's possible. You enter the trade district, the glittering heart of Madaron's economy. A stream of merchants and their goods flow through the arteries of this district, the tide ebbing and flowing but never ceasing. Towering over the district is the golden dome of the Commercium headquarters, once a temple to the old gods, now a place of worship for the only god the Commercium truly believes in: money. That's right. Pay, 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 says one of the traders, heading out and cursing loudly. Pay to reach the city, pay to enter the city, pay for the privilege to sell my own wares. Where does it stop? Why do you come here, then? As much as I hate to admit it, but it is the only real market. Nothing else comes close, so you either starve yourself, selling your wares to the few villages and outposts that are still around, or you pay through the nose to take your wares to Madaran. What other choice is there? Aren't you with the Commercium? I work for myself. That's why I went into trading to begin with. It's not easy, and you have to stay out of smaller towns, but Madaran is big enough to handle all the trading it does now and then some. Of course, we have to rent stalls from the Commercium and pay them a hefty cut at the end of the day, but like I said, what other choice is there? Why do you stay out of small towns? Small towns can only handle so much business, so if you bring your wares there, you'll be taking business from the Commercium, and they won't like it one bit. Of course, you could sell directly to them, but it won't even cover the trip. So like I said, you either go to Madaran or service villages and outposts, and they can't afford to pay much. If they pay you with produce and ore, you still need to sell it, which brings us back to Madaran. What about Genezar? I tend to stay away from it. The market is smaller, so you sell less at lower prices, but you pay the same levies. Not to mention that ever since Meru started preaching, Genezar is ruled by mobs of zealots, while the guards do nothing to rein them in. If you want my advice, stay away from it too. Oh, cool, Hermie. That's right, so Final Fantasy is on MTG Arena, but the Marvel stuff like Spider-Man isn't. Okay, interesting. Who's running the Commercium? Strabos. He's alright if you pay on time and keep your word. Of course, if you miss the payment or try to skip town, it's another story, but that's the nature of the business. Okay. We got the deets. Let's see this trade district. A watchtower. Now, I don't want to stab that person. I want to just talk to them. Can I? No, I don't. Okay. Oh, that's right. I have some... I've been getting general skill points, I guess. I didn't even notice that. So we should probably raise some stuff up. Sid, I kind of think that it was lightning because it's so dark right now in the game. Interrogate, perforate. Right. 100%. So let's see. What do we want to get good at? Well, we probably want to get good at... persuasion is actually really awesome. It's been helping us out a ton. I'm going to put a lot into that. And I'm going to raise my etiquette. Seems good. Okay. And my etiquette is now to the point where you cover your mouth when you sneeze most of the time. And my persuasion is proficient. You realize that old man Aesop was right. Persuasion is more effective than brute force. You darn right of it. I have Aesop. Alright, is this... No, I don't want to steal, but let's see if I can find the guilds. Or a quest, or something cool. The alchemy trader. A stall. The capes trader. I mean, a cape would be good. The general trader. Go to the second floor. The pavilion. Huh. I guess. Man, there's like a elevator up to the second floor? Interesting. Maces, who are you? Can I help you? I'm looking for work. Loyalty, reputation, failure. Then you should know that we value loyalty to the guild above all. Get out of here. Right, well... Okay, but... Can I get in the guild, or how's that work? Let me in. Can I go up? You're not allowed to go there. Okay, but I'm kind of a big deal. I'm not a big deal. Alright. So let's look around. Ordu trader. What does that mean? Weapons? I mean, it looks like that's what you got in your stall. Maybe Ordu is like his, you know, species or whatever, or like nationality. Ordu armor is best armor, says a squinty-eyed, dark-haired trader. No contest. You want best, you buy from me. You want crap, you buy from others. Browse the wares. What you got? So he does have stuff. Now, I don't really need to buy anything, but I could maybe sell some stuff to him. So I have this weapon. Would you like to... Oh, yeah, I've got some throwing weapons. I've got my shield. This is equipped. This is equipped. This armor is equipped. I probably don't need that. And he'll give me, what, 1 gold? Okay. I'll take it. Alright, let's see if I can... Here I am on the map. Oh, cool, look at this. This is really nice that once you unlock an area or visit an area, you have all these fast travel points. So here's Abukar. I think that's the crazy guy that is the lore master. So I definitely want to go talk to him, but this must be his observatory. Yes, indeed. Let's go over here. Let's see if he's in this lower section. I don't see him. I'll go upstairs. He's not here either. Where's crazy guy? Here he is. Abukar. You see a bald, bearding man fiddling with an old telescope bearing signs of crude repair. If you want me to do a chart, you're wasting your time, says the man, his accent thick and heavy. What chart? I'm a stargazer, says the man impatiently, as if it should have been obvious, but I don't do charts anymore, so don't ask. Now, what do you want? I need a lore master. I am that as well. Surely you've heard about Abukar, so tell me what you need and go away. What's this thing? A telescopium. A wonder of wonders. Through it, I observe stars and their movements, although it's not the stars but the void between them that captures my attention now. Why? I've learned that the void is anything but empty. Oh! He discovered dark matter. The darkness hides it well, but nothing can stay hidden forever. There are those who dwell in the void, and I've taken it upon myself to watch them. Okay. Yeah, that's cool, Abu. Have you seen any yet? I have not. But the absences of evidence is not the evidence of absence. They're there somewhere. I know that now. Nickman, good morning. What makes you think that? What makes me think that? The wisdom of the ancients contained in the scrolls I found in the ruins of the Library of Saros. Oh, the truth they revealed. I burned the scrolls, but I can't burn the words imprinted in my mind. They are the reason I watch the void now. What did the scrolls say? They said that the Magi reached far into the void and brought forth beings that are not of this or any other world, beings that know neither life the way we know it nor death. The link has been severed and the gate sealed, but the path remains. The seals can be unlocked and the spells can be reversed unless we stand guard and watch the void. Now, this has been a pretty realistic game so far in some ways, but we know that there's this abyss in the town, which seems supernatural or scary or both. But also, this is a post-apocalyptic world. So something happened, and I don't know what the event was. I think it does, Sid. I think it does. That's a good question. I mean, they have an alchemist, but I don't know. Is that what the scrolls said? Word for word? There were dozens of scrolls, reduced to fragments. I had to decipher the message and deduce its meaning hidden to the uninitiated. Any chance you might have erred a little bit? I'm a third-generation lore master, says Abukar proudly. I do not err. You mentioned the Library of Seros. Do you know where it is? There is nothing there, says Abukar, but if you want to gaze upon the ruins of the greatest library in the world, I won't stop you. Let me mark it on your map. You know, there is like... I don't know what it is. I guess it's the kind of the graphics of the game and the post-apocalyptic setting, but there is some carryover, I feel like, to Kenshi with this game, where, you know, there's ruins and you're kind of observing them, and there's outposts, but it's pretty lawless, and then there's this kind of Greek or Roman sense of political order that's, you know, ruling at the time. And there's human trafficking too. I mean, there's some definite carryover. What do you seek at the library? Knowledge. What else? I was trying to solve a problem, and I hoped that the great library of Seros might shed some light on it. I was mistaken. What kind of problem? I was working on a device to detect energy fluctuations. It could detect random deviations with 80% accuracy, but couldn't handle larger and more frequent fluctuations. Obviously, I miscalculated somewhere, but the nature of the old world's magic is hardly a well-explored field these days. One has no choice but to make assumptions, which leads to setbacks and disappointments. I thought magic was gone from the world. Then you thought wrong. The Magi are gone, but the magic they unleashed is still here, lurking in our backyard, waiting for the right moment to strike. How do you fight that which you can't see? How do you stop that which has been prophesied to come? Our own backyard? You mean the Abyss? What else? We've accepted the Abyss and learned to stay away from it. We speak of magic that haunts it without any understanding of what it is and why it's still there centuries later, yet any force that affects the physical world can be detected and measured, even it's invisible to the naked eye. Yeah, for sure, Sid. This device, do you still have it? It's not for sale. So you want to explore the Abyss? Yes, but not the way the fools do it with sheep, mystical charts, and divining rods. The dangerous spots have an abnormal energy spike, so all you need to do is construct a device that can read them. Easier said than done, of course, but the paths are worth traveling are never easy. I have something I want you to look at. Show him the sphere. Clever, says Abukar thoughtfully, turning the sphere in his fingers. The grooves, they must match something. No? Find what it is, and you'll have your answer. I have another item I want you to look at. Show him the map. The Temple of Thor Agoth, says Abukar, after studying the seal. It's a fool's errand. And Titus was searching for it a long time, even sent an expedition, but they didn't find anything. Talk to Domitius Ulpius if you want to know more. Okay, that's who I'm looking for. Yeah, Herbie, exactly. I need to put points in stealing. My thievery is not good. Alright. So, I mean... yeah. Are you familiar with chloroform? Let me show you up close. What I like about this game right now is it's one of these like old school RPGs where I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just kind of following some leads and grasping at straws to try to connect the dots. But this was the right gamble, and you talk to this guy enough, he's got really interesting lore to tell you, and he points us in the right direction of the person we're looking for with the quest. It is not giving you an icon on the map to go to. You are not following a trail. It's just like, figure it out. Poser, Timothy, good evening. Alright, so, what do you know of Thor Agoth? He wasn't of this world. None of them were. They were brought here and given life, which was the greatest folly of men. Be thankful that they are gone, but remain vigilant and stand ready to delay their return. For we are not what we once were, and will be all but helpless against them. So it seems like the Magi maybe, like he says, they brought people from between the stars, some kind of like other dimension, maybe demons or something, or just supernatural beings, and we can't control them. And the Magi are all gone, so we should stay away. I have another item. Show him the map. But I want him to... I wish he could tell me about Domitius Ulpius. He knows who he is. Maybe later. Alright, so, but he didn't give me any deets. He did give me Saros and a lot of good lore, but we'll have to figure out where Domitius is. Alright, fine. We can do that. So if I look at the map, I also, while I'm here, I would very much like to join a guild, and the Merchants Guild seems the most reasonable. The guy wasn't cool when I tried to talk to him. Is this the blacksmith here? It looks like... No, this is like the rug merchant, maybe. I'll open this. Welcome to Nasir's Carpet Diem. Seize the day. Oh, that's hilarious. Carpet Diem. Heyo, this guy's like, I've been waiting all my life for this economic pun. I have the perfect shop name. Seize the day and buy yourself the nicest wool carpet moneykin, starts the innkeeper, then stops abruptly, realizing that you aren't in the market for rugs. Say, friend, says the man, changing his tone. How'd you like to make 1,000 Imperials? Keep talking, this sounds totally above board. It's a simple tale. I wish to buy a gem. It's a rare yellow sapphire, cut to perfection. Unfortunately, Sylvanus is not a reasonable man. I've offered him 1,000 Imperials, yet he refuses to sell, making a fool out of me. Not very neighborly of him, is it? He used to live next door and sell spices. Then he made some powerful friends and bought a house in the Palace District, right next to the palace. The nerve, huh? So here's the deal. Bring me the stone and I'll pay you 1,000. I don't care how you acquire it. That's between you and Sylvanus. And if he ends up dead... I'll go take a look then. I mean, I'll say I can do this, but I definitely can't do it. I'm not really sneaky. I'm not a cat burglar type character. I don't think I can, like, persuade him either. Here's the blacksmith. Let's go in here and just have a chat. See if he has anything to say. I'm trying to be good, Hermie. So, no stealing or murdering. Looking for anything in particular? Do you have any crafting schematics? What do you need? Armor? Yeah, he has a bunch of schematics. I just don't have any money, so... And he doesn't want to chitter-chatter, so... An old temple. Let's see what's over here. Where would I think, you know, Domitius would go? Another temple from the olden days, judging by the noise coming from the inside. Instead of worshipping dusty old symbols, the locals prefer to worship the beauty of a female body. Oh, it's a delightful harem. Alright, let's talk to Roni. It'll pay off, Hermie, eventually, I'm hoping. Kreft, good evening, my friend. Good to see you. I just need more money. You stare at an exhausted young man, apparently just having trained out in the courtyard. He's dressed in Ordu armor, despite not being of the Ordu. He looks up at you curiously and says, "What do you want?" "I just came from Tehran looking for Guildmaster. What's your name?" "Doc and Comp." "I'm Roni. I heard a lot of news from Tehran lately. It seems like someone is stirring up things over there. Well, welcome to Mataron, I guess. If you're looking for Darista, she's inside." "What can you tell me about her?" "What's there to tell? If you're looking for work, then there's no one better to work for." "Alright, thanks." Okay, so this is a guild. Oh, it's the Boatmen. They were just talking about the Boatmen as a very popular group to join. I could go explore the ruins of the library, too. So here's the boatman, the blacksmith. There's the healer. I don't think I can get into any of these other districts, but I need to figure out if, you know, where Domitius would be. Actually, didn't the guy say he was in the arena district anyway? He did. I think he said he thought he saw him there, so I'll go in here. What is this? Oh, I can't. Okay. There's the healer. It is deep, Poser. It's unreal. Like, I mean, I've now been playing for probably an hour and 45 minutes, and I am just kind of getting the lay of the game world and the lore. Coffee, good evening. I hope not. I mean, I'll try. Do we know all the available guilds, says Sid? No, I don't think so. Well, we did get some information. I have like a faction. Here we go. So here's the noble houses, and then there's the Commercium, which is the merchant guild. So I'm trying to get with them. The boatmen are like assassins, and I just don't think I would be good at this. I'm lore master, right? And so I'll try to see what I can do. Is this guy, what is this guy about? Looking for something special? Nah. He's just selling stuff. Curio trader. Okay. So if at this point I'm wondering if there's a way to highlight everybody. It doesn't seem like it. The only person I found that I could really talk to in this district, oh, I turned on the interactables. That's actually kind of cool, but it doesn't work for people. Is this one guy, Macius or whatever, and he ain't cool. Wheat, rice, various baked goods. Okay. That's a great question, Cold Coffee. I played a Vampire the Masquerade game many years ago, decades ago. And so that was the only real one that I played, but I've always had fun with them. You could do some pretty hilarious stuff at those vampire games. No, I don't want to steal. I just want to talk. What you got? You got any capes? Browse. They do have, I mean, they have a lot of capes. Do I have a cape on? I don't. They're not that expensive. A simple cape. For those who can't afford the finer things in life. That would be me. Centurion's cape. Actually, didn't I get a cape? Maybe not. Let's try to get a Lore Master cape. It doubles up as a fashion statement. You're darn right it does. No, Cold Coffee. It was not tabletop. It was a PC game, and I think I might have bought it. I mean, it was like... It was a vampire game. It was a Vampire the Masquerade game. And I bought it at the same time as I might have bought Morrowind or Icewind Dale. Something like that. And yeah, that's right. It could have been 2004. It could have been fresh 2004, but no, I think it was earlier than that. I don't think I had... Yeah, anyway. Yeah, that would be hilarious, Hermie. I don't know. So this is 12 gold. This is only 6 gold. I'm going to get this. And then I'm going to go to my character, no, my inventory, and we're going to put on this cape. Bam. We're looking good. Alright. So this guy's got nothing, but I did get a cape. I do. Mr. Fixer, good evening. I remember them well. I'm looking for work. Aww. I gotta build up my rep, I guess. Alright, let's get out of here then. These guys are gonna be just jerks about it. Oh, okay. It's a special kind of house. I see. We are styling, without a doubt. Alright, so this is another brothel. I'm looking for Domitius. Has anyone seen him? Domitius Domino Man. Alright. It's a hovel. Has anyone seen Domino? A fallen minaret. Well, there's nothing to do over here. So this isn't the slums, but it has some people who are apparently falling on hard times. Oh, here we go. As you walk down the street, you hear shouts and see an angry crowd pursuing several men. They chase them into a nearby house and start discussing the best way to smoke them out. Uh-oh. Approach. Let's see what I could do. Burn 'em, yells a red-faced burly man in a dirty tunic. There's me at the front of the crowd, pointing at the house. The crowd seems to share his animosity toward the house's inhabitants. Nobody's burning anything in my district, says the guard weakly. He tries to infuse his words with authority, but he isn't eager to risk his life to restore order, which only emboldens the crowd. What's going on? It's the Nutters, sighs the guard. Now that they've got some numbers behind them, things are starting to get out of control. Earlier, they went through the district, shouting, pushing over carts, and pissing people off. There was a fight, 3 dead, a dozen wounded. The preacher and his cronies hold in there, he nods at the house, and now these idiots want to burn it down, and half a district with it. The Nutters, the mouth breathers who follow these preachers around, eating up every word and asking for more. We didn't see it coming when it started. These preachers were talking crazy, but nobody listened, so what's the harm, right? And then something changed. Suddenly, they were drawing crowds. People were repeating their stuff like it meant something. And now we have bloody riots in the middle of the day. What do they preach? The usual crap. The godless will be punished. The righteous will be saved. What preachers? Ever since Mero went nuts and started talking about gods, some people took it upon themselves to spread his teaching and bring the light to our darkness. Now, as far as I know, the preachers never said a word about attacking the unbelievers, but maybe they didn't have to. Make a man feel righteous and there's no telling how far he will go. Need any help? Can you keep the crowd in check while I go and get more men? Okay, so this is a dumb idea, but I'm going to try. I just put points into persuasion. Sure. The guard leaves you in charge, and quickly walks away. The crowd gets its hopes up and moves a few steps closer. Oh my god, look at me standing in front of the door. Tried to protect it. That preacher ain't going nowhere, says the burly man. We had enough of this crap. Alright. I have lore success persuasion. The preacher will be dealt with in accordance with the laws of House Aurelian. Any attempt to rob our lord of his right to dispense punishment will be considered a grave insult, punishable by removal of the offender's right arm. Heck yeah. Yeah, poser. Wasteland 1, Commodore 64-128. The crazy argument is good. It's, repent. Lance, good evening. Good to see you. I know. It's out of character, Lance. You're right. I'm trying. Success. All right, says the burly man, spitting and narrowly missing your feet. Have it your way, but if we ever catch this jerk in our neighborhood, he's ours. You gain a new insight into the liberal arts and trades, which can be used to increase your non-combat skills. 1 civil skill point gained. Wait for the crowd to leave and go inside. All right, we're in. You see a man with a thin face, a narrow, aquiline nose, and fire in his eyes. This must be the preacher. Behind him stand 2 men, roughed up and bloodied. Who are you? Asked the preacher. All right, we got skill points. Peacemaker, reputation increased. A friend, it's safe to come out now. The gods worked a miracle through you, my child, much like they always do. It's the righteous men like you that make this world worth saving. Thank you, brother. So what happened here today? My congregation wanted to share their love for the gods with their neighbors, for it is a duty of every believer to bring the light of true faith into the hearts of others, yet apparently such roads are filled with perils. The faithful were attacked, spat on, knocked to the ground, and beaten. We had to defend ourselves, but our creed isn't a militant one, and we fared poorly. All but these 2 lucky souls are dead now. I'm glad I could help then. Yeah, poser, I actually had an IBM as well, a 386. I didn't have, exactly, Hermie. I didn't have a Commodore back in the day, but there was a period, when I was in college and high school era that I started collecting video game stuff. And, back before like eBay really caught on and before the internet was as prominent, I was able to go to like thrift stores and buy video game stuff because people would sell or just like donate video game stuff, and the thrift stores would sell it because nobody wanted that stuff. It was like the retro wasn't back yet, so you could get Atari games, all kinds of stuff for like nothing. And so I bought, I think it was actually at like a half price books. I bought Wasteland for the Commodore. And what's interesting about the way that the original Wasteland is packaged for the Commodore, it's almost like a record album. I mean, like a vinyl, but it's smaller, so it would be like a 10-inch, vinyl record. And then you've got and they're big floppies for that. They're 5 1/4 floppies. But it was, I think I got it for like $5 or something like that. It was awesome. I'm glad I could help. We're in your debt and this debt will be repaid. I'll bring the word of your deeds to the holy city of Genezar. Okay, so I'm boosting up House Crassus' reputation. Thank you. All right. And I don't know. I got a bunch of, not a bunch, but I got some civil skill points and general skill points, so that's kind of cool. Not enough to raise anything, but I got some. And here's some youth, some young rando. Oh, he's guarding the slums, or just by it. You see a slightly awkward, light-haired youth, scarcely out of his teens. What's up, man? I couldn't help but notice that you're heading for the slums, says the youth in a somewhat shy manner. I was wondering if you could do me a favor. In exchange for a reasonable remuneration, of course, he adds. What's the favor? I entered into a business arrangement with a certain individual who goes by the name of Neros. He asked me to procure certain goods and deliver them to him. Yet, now that I'm about to do it, I find myself being torn by doubts and fears, such as, I must confess that I've never been to the slums and find the task to be more intimidating than what I've originally envisioned. They say it's a lawless place where a man's life is worth nothing. Not to mention that I can't help but wonder if Neros is going to pay me what he promised. After all, what stops him from cutting my throat? He touches his throat uncomfortably and taking the goods for nothing. So where do I come in? You seem to have a certain air about you. I don't think that Neros would dare playing games with you. He promised to pay 3,000 Imperials. I'm willing to part with 500 if you were to deliver the package and collect the money. What's in the package? Black powder, sulfur, salpetre, things of that nature. Why does Neros need them? I don't see how it's any of my business, or yours for that matter. Alright, I'll do it. Thank you. So, his house is around the old temple. He said it's easy to find. Alright, so that would be if I go into the slums. Silver, good evening, but I don't plan on going into the slums. Right, cold coffee. I'm thinking about... I'm just looking around for... the, Dominius guy. What is this place? This is... they've got flags. Maybe it's just flags for the arena itself. House. Go check it out. Dead bolted from the inside. It's one of the better looking buildings on the block. Okay, well. There's a bunch of thugs here. That's not a good place for me to go. I'm gonna walk out. Alright, quick saved it. My character tends to get beat up by thugs, so... let me talk to this guy, Arena Master. I don't want to go into the arena, I just want to get some deets. The Arena Master looks at you appraisingly and gives you the most convincing fake smile you've ever seen, beckoning you to come closer. Judging by the number of rings on his fingers, business is good. Look what crawled out of some crap hole and made its way to our glorious city, or what's left of it. Seeking your fortune in this big city, I take it. Well, how about a job in the entertainment industry? What kind of entertainment? The Arena Master grins. The best kind. Fight in the arena to amuse the crowd and make a name for yourself. Everything your victims have is yours. What do you say? Maybe later. No, I'm not going to fight. Let's see. Let's go in this Grab a Bite Tavern. Let's see what they got here. Maybe Dominius is here. Oh no, I think I went here before and it was like the worst. It's not like there's just people hanging out that you could speak with. Who's Clericus? Who are you? You're too late, says a man standing next to an empty stall when you approach him. The caravan just left. It'll take weeks before the next one is ready to depart. Where do you send the caravans to? These days, mostly Genezar and Kertor. Asmara and Kippur are gone. Tehran's about to join them. We need markets for our goods, and the local goods to take back to cover the costs and turn some profit. There are a couple mining villages that can make a trip there worthwhile, but they're an exception rather than the norm. Yeah, there you go, Hermie. I can. So I don't need to go anywhere right now. I mean, I could talk to that guy about cities, but what I'm doing is looking for my connection. Who's this guy? Kem Nebi. Nebi. Kemi, what do you want? The man in front of you is in his 50s. His face is deeply lined and weathered, suggesting that its owner spends most of his time outside, probably in the wasteland. Hey, we were just talking about that. I was just curious about what line of work you're in. The kind I don't want to talk about with people I don't know. Alright, good one. He's been waiting to use that line all day. I can leave the city. Oh, here's the inn. Okay, maybe there's something good in here. A storyteller. Ooh, maybe this is the dude. You see a grizzled old fellow haggling with the innkeeper over a dish of scraps and a cup of watered wine. When they reach an agreement, the old man pulls the cup toward him for a long sip, savoring his drink, and reluctantly pours the rest into a bowl of yesterday's rice. He works the wine into the rice, which, along with half an onion, comprises his meal. After finishing, he lets his gaze linger a moment on the empty bowl before turning with a dispirited sigh to address the common room. A tale, he says in a hoarse voice before pausing to cough explosively. Hearken everyone to a most wondrous tale, a tale I offer exclusively to the most distinguished patrons of this most illustrious establishment. Stay a while and listen. Look around you, my friends, demands the old man. The patrons comply, obviously suspecting it is part of some feeble jest. No, not at these four walls, you dolts. Look in wonder on the glorious city of Madaran. Countless cities and towns, village hamlets have crumbled into dust or been submerged beneath the waves or swallowed by the desert sands, but Madaran survives. For 10,000 years the mighty capital has stood, and for 10,000 years he will continue to stand watching over. I've heard the city was 1,000 years old, interrupts a surly-looking metalworker in the crowd. And where did you hear that, pray tell? The storyteller seems to grow in stature, looking down at the man with disdain. I was born here, as was my father, and my father's father, and his father before him. So which of us knows best, my gritty friend? Now set aside, for a while, the cackling of geese in the market, which is often mistaken for wisdom, and you will learn something of this city of all cities we are so fortunate to call home. Madaran was old and wise, already a place of philosophers and statesmen when the empire was nothing but an upstart kingdom. Yes, they were brawlers, full of strength and bluster, let us give violence its due. But what would have been their end without our art, our knowledge, our wisdom? The Empire had their legions, my esteemed comrades, but there is a limit to what can be accomplished through brutality. Add culture and knowledge to your strength, and you have a potent force. The old Empire has fallen to dust, a heap of cracked stones where once stood mighty walls of ancient allium. Nothing remains but faded diagrams on a handful of mildewed scrolls. Madaran alone stands, her glory scornful of the passing of mere men, of time and decay, her nobles and lords unfazed by. I come inside to get away from the wind, not to bathe in it, the dusty scribe declares. Yes, get to the tale before ye crumble away yourself, another patron helpfully adds. Hilarious. I'm getting to the tale, says the old-timer, his smile still, but his eyes are tight with anger. I know that such learned folks as yourself must have all heard of that dismal and storied ruin, the place of terror and woe commonly named the Abyss. Well, there are rumors, there are tales, and there is truth. I will wager a meal that no one here has heard the truth. And you know the truth? Asks the scribe with a smirk. I certainly do, the storyteller snaps, for an instant unable to conceal the weary and bitter man he has become. I happened in my travels upon a lore master walking alone at the edge of the desert. His apprentice had died on the road the week before, and, worse luck, his mule soon after. The lore master himself was clinging to life by the barest thread. I shared my water with him, the only wealth I had to offer, for I am, as you see, a humble man. In his gratitude, he gifted me his finest scroll, a first-hand account of that poisoned zone which history has named the Abyss. This was 10 years ago, and the scroll itself is now lost, but luckily for you, my friends, I have committed it entire to the vault of my mind. He taps a finger meaningfully on one temple. Still, 10 years is 10 years, and a few of the details may be mixed up, but I promise it's worth your time, and a coin or two besides. It was during the final days of the Great War, he begins, with a drama running close to the ridiculous, when earth and sky both were riven by terrible weapons, when catastrophe chased disaster. Entire cities vanished overnight, tens of thousands extinguished like candle flames swamped by the sea. Yet Madarin was impregnable, for no army could breach her mantle of magic. Any who approached were destroyed without mercy, like ants treading a bed of hot coals, but her enemies were as clever as they were relentless. One night, the city's magi tracked several new stars in the night sky, stars which moved but did not burn out and disappear as their more common brothers. They declared this a dark omen and commanded the minarets and spires to cast their nets. Just as these cursed beacons began to fall into the city, they were too late, however. One star escaped those nets to land in the venerable district of Wisdom. That was the time when the sun dawned in darkest night, and the thunder that arose made the gods themselves tremble. When the real sun arose in the east, all could see that the district of Wisdom was no more. What is left is what we now call the Abyss. But that is not the end of my story. With that cruel dawn, a strange, misshapen man appeared at the gates. He was haggard and wan, and stumbled as though wounded, yet raw power cackled the air around him. When he gestured, the steel gates, 12 feet high, crumpled, as if no more than paper in his closed fist. The guards who rushed to meet him bent like reeds in a gale, but from the wind that bowed them, or bowed them, they would never spring back. In that instant, the city was doomed, for this creature wasn't a man at all, but a demon conjured in the unspeakable rituals of our enemies. There was, however, one who dared oppose him, Abu Hassan ibn Habdad al-Sarabi, first of the Magi. Though the lords of the city all knew him to be doing their good work 1,000 miles from Madaran, he had somehow appeared in her direst need to stand calmly waiting in the path. The twisted creature sneered at the world's greatest magus, using the familiar form of greeting, an insult to such a powerful man, and asked if he still thirsted for knowledge man wasn't meant to know. Calmly, the magus replied that his thirst had been quenched a long time ago, and that his power, and that of his seals, had grown stronger since their last meeting, as the state of the demon's forlorn and raggedly host did attest. The demon had no witty reply to this, but reared up as if to strike him down. I cannot, Sid. To the astonishment of everyone present, including the demon himself, his own limbs refused to obey him. His ribs cracked inward with a sound like twigs breaking, his legs buckled beneath him, and his eyes turned white, leaving him blind. Sealed within his ruined human form, he was unable to do anything but growl and curse. "What did they do with the demon?" inquired the scribe softly. Sometime during the story, the patron's taunts and grumbling had faded away, and everyone sat on the edge of his chair, fist clenched, wine forgotten. "That detail the scroll did not reveal," says the old man, "but I would venture the demon was locked away for eternity, in the most impregnable sort of prisoner vault. I mean, what else would you do with such a being?" Alright, so now I could talk to him. "Did the scroll mention the name of the demon?" "It did," says the storyteller. He is befuddled for a moment, since you're clearly the first person to ask him that. "Balzaroth? Balzarab?" It was an evil sound, like vinegar on the tongue. Ooh. Maybe Hermie or Oppenheimer. What were the Magi working on before the attack on the city? The scroll didn't say. All I could tell you is the grandest and tallest building in the city was the House of Magi, a dozen golden towers and silver arches hovering over the city. It is written that the highest pinnacle pierced the clouds, and the lowest catacombs dug deep under the earth, anchoring the tower in place. Can you see now what was lost? He is practically pleading for understanding. When will we ever rebuild such splendor? How? The Abyss used to be the District of Wisdom? That is correct, he nods. It was the heart of Madaron, a place of temples, libraries, and schools. Granted, all I saw was an old drawing, but the image left me speechless and filled my heart with sorrow. Lore masters say the answer to any question could be found in the District of Wisdom if one knew where to look and whom to ask. Men would come from all over the land to seek out our wisdom. Now the only thing they seek here are the whores. So it was like a vast library? Not wholly inaccurate, he replies pompously, but it was also much more than that. The ancients mined knowledge the way slaves mine ore. The city boasts the best magi, algebraists, topologists, alchemists, engineers, and astronomers. Madaron had them all in one place. They walked these streets, breathed the same air, gazed upon the same stars. It was a time of wonder. What do you know about the gods? Old wives' tale, says the old man dismissively. Men of wisdom won the war, not gods. Let these gods strike me down if I lie. All right then, walk away. Okay, so we got a bunch of good story out of that guy, and here's Cadmos, the innkeeper, and nobody else. So let's talk to Caddy. You see a drunken man yelling at the patrons and waving around his spear. Accustomed to his outbursts, the patrons seemed to be ignoring him. You couldn't help but notice it's a damn good spear. Steel, custom made. Nice spear. Nice spear, ha! This spear had made me the champion of the darn arena back when the title meant something. He shoves the spear in your face, presumably for closer look. Just ignore him, says one of the patrons. Cadmos is always like that when he starts drinking. Was he really a champion? Hard to believe, eh? Says the patron. You should have seen him 10 years ago when he was in his prime. Now he's a pale shadow of what he once was. I know, Hermie. It's pretty interesting. I do not want to provoke this guy. Innkeeper. What can I get you, stranger? I need a room. It's our busy season, but I'm sure I could find something fitting for you if you have 200 Imperials. I do not. I don't have that many. Let's see. Alright. Well, there's the thugs again. Guess I could save it. Maybe I do need to go into the slums and explore a bit. You enter a side alley just in time. Oh, okay, so this is the same thing that I got into before. Get out of here. Or what? Or what? Do you have any idea who you're talking to? Uh-oh. Okay, so this is why I quick saved it. Because being attacked 3-on-1 with my character is bad. And I'm starting... I have 26 hit points left, which doesn't seem like enough. Can I take a 5-foot step? Would you hold that against me? They would. I pushed F9. There's no option to just run away. Okay. Well, what do I need to do here? There's... It's not the worst idea for me to try the slums, I guess. But, if I get attacked by thugs like that again, it ain't gonna go well for me at all. Salt. Delicious meats. They've got the meats in there. Alright, the trade district. I mean, he could be in a place like that. Where is Domitius? Where'd you end up, buddy? We need the guy with the spear in our party. Yeah, exactly. To help us. But... let's go in. You arrive at the infamous Madarin slums, greeted only by an oppressive silence settling around you. Filth-clad figures pay you little notice as they paw through refuse piled against dilapidated buildings, yet you can feel hostile eyes watching you from the shadows. Yeah, Hermie, I need something. You're keenly aware that even the guard have long since chalked this place up as a loss. Their patrol routes avoid the squalid maze of collapsed buildings and makeshift shelters. The only authority in here is the Thieves Guild. You can just make out their headquarters in the distance, the shattered dome of the High Temple, an everlasting mockery that serves as a reminder of this district's fall from its former grandeur. Alright, let's explore. Leon says, "You must be lost," says a man in his 50s, looking at you with interest. "People who don't belong here don't come often, so they always stand out. I'm Leon. It's been more than 20 years since I ended up in the slums. I thought I wouldn't last a day, yet here I am. What do you want?" "An honest pay for an honest day's work, no more, no less. You've heard about the slums, yes? It's not for the faint-hearted. So what do you need is a local guide." Well, this is just what you're talking about, Herbie, to keep the riffraff away from you and away from the riffraff. It's almost like two jobs in one, but I'll ask only for 100 coins if you could spare it. I don't have it, so I'm probably dead where I stand. It's a little too pricey for me. You see, I have 50 coins, and a smile. Well, I need to find the temple to deliver this package or whatever for that guy. He said he would give me some money. Uh-oh. Here's me trying to use... So, impersonation would be good. A dirty-looking man pops out of nowhere, blocking your way. "Well, well, well," says the man, almost too fast to understand. "What do we have here? A new arrival? Nah, too clean for that. A lost sheep that strayed away from the shepherds? That's more like it, ain't it?" Glancing around, you see more figures crawling out of the ruins to join this game. "Thought I was here all by myself, did you?" says the man, grinning proudly. "Think again. I'm working for the guild, so if you know what's good for you, you'd best be on your way." "Nah," says the man, shaking his head. "I know a liar when I see one. I could hear a liar, too, you know. You sing one song, but your voice, it sings a different one. Kill him," he shouts suddenly, his eyes almost popping out of his head. "Tear him apart limb by limb." So good. Fight. Okay, so there's a lot of them. Alright, well, let's go up here and... I don't know. Do I want to go... Let's go... How many AP do I have? Regular on this guy. He dodged it. I'm ruined. I have one chance. And it's all God. I did block a little bit. 1 or 2 hits, but I'm going to be in bad shape here. I like how this NPC over here just watches. "Boy, you're getting your butt kicked, buddy." I am. Oh, God. This guy's just going to dodge. Okay. So, I can't come in here with this character unless I raise up some of my other skills. So I think what I probably want to do is maybe even just leave this town and try to explore the ruins or something to make money. I'm too poor at fighting for the slums, I'll tell you that much. Alright. Well, did you quick save it before I got in here? Yeah, they kind of did. I mean, that's my quick save. Here, load this. Let's see where you put me. Oh, okay. Well, this isn't good. I'm gonna go here. That'll take me 6 AP. I have 7. And I'm gonna go here. It takes 5. And then I'm gonna throw these at this guy. I actually hit that guy. Damn, you're slow. I am slow. Go back to herding sheep. Well, if you just let me go back to herding sheep, yeah, so this is like, I couldn't take 3-on-1. 4-on-1 is not happening. However, I will say these guys are worse than the other dudes that I fought. They don't really have that much, but they have enough for me. Yeah, okay. So I can't even hit these guys. I'm so bad at combat. So we'll just pretend that didn't happen. We'll pretend going into the slums didn't happen. It's a bad plan for us. So, I accept that. Like, this character that we made is not good at that. And I don't think the boatmen are going to offer me good opportunities. So I might need to, you know, go get in good with a guild somewhere that's not here. To kind of work my way up so that I can practice learning some skills that are actually useful for this character. We could try, Sid. The Abyss is an option. You're right about that. Although I haven't found the entrance to it yet, and I hope it's not through the slums. But I could look in the trade district to see if I can find it. Anyway, everyone, this is a 2 RPG night. So we're going to switch gears and go from post-apocalyptic nightmare world to a different nightmare world where we get to hang out with Rasputin and be a kind of spirit-talking detective in the Thaumaturge. So give me one moment to switch some gears here, and we will pop into the next game.